Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Techy channel. So today we'll try to explore this RE framework concept. So in earlier videos, we explored the RE framework with the queues. Now we'll try to explore without the queues. So now I will mention this without queues. Okay, we'll change that. What are the things need to be done in changes? What type of variables we need to change, and what steps needs to be done in initial stage, get transaction stage, process transaction state, what are the steps needs to be changed. So we'll export those things. So the first step, so we'll go to this initial stage. So already the framework has been designed for this queues. Now we just convert it to the normal without the queues. So this is the step which is a standard. So already done. Now just I want to read this Excel file. So just I'm using this read range workbook activity and I want the path. So as of now, I'm downloading file this here. So just I will copy this path. So as of now, I make it as a standard, not the dynamic static one I'm using. And the sheet name as sheet one, I think. Let me check what's the sheet name for this. Okay, if you want, you can make it dynamic as you will wish. And now I want to create the variable here, data table variable. So when I go to these variables, so we can see a couple of variables already has been designed. So when you go and check this DT transaction data, so this variable which has been already designed. Okay, so I have not designed anything. So this is already predefined with the RF framework itself. So now I will use this variable. So just the and go to this here and I will update this variable. Okay, done. So whatever the file is downloaded, I have read that file. Okay, once I read that file, whatever the data in the Excel file, everything I store in the data transaction data. So this is a variable. So this is the one step which I have to change as per my process. If you go to some your process, you need to check what are the steps pre-request before starting the process. Okay. Now we'll move to the get transaction data. So when you move to get transaction data, so check signal, this is should be there. Let it be keep. Anyway, this is working fine, no problem. If you want, you can remove that, not a problem. But when it is a structured one, just keep it like that. And now here one item is on variable is there, which is called transaction item. So this transaction item, as of now, it is in the variable type is queue item because previous we use this queues. So now change this item to this data table. Okay. Once you change this transaction item to the variable data table, then we can see the some couple of errors. So we need to go and check where it quoting that error. So now here I got this error. Just open this workflow. Okay, just come inside and check this arguments. So where is our in transaction item? Where is I need to check? So this is the one. Change this queue items to this data table. Okay, now check here where it is. Okay, get transaction item anyway we are not using, so we are not going to the queues. So this one I will disable. So now error got disappeared, and I will come to import arguments. Here also we need to change that. So where is this? Just check whether it is updated or not. So this is updated, but here input data is not possible. Okay, then give this here input as transaction item. Okay, once this is getting to this workflow, so we need to store that variable, no? So that variable which is called transaction item. Just click on that. Okay. Okay, after this, we got one more error. Just go and check here. So this transaction item is nothing. Okay, now okay, let it be. This one we'll discuss why it's throwing that error, what we need to do that. So now go to this invoke and open this. Okay, once you go to these arguments here, we can see this. So now the data is storing here. So whatever the data table, no? So the data is storing in this variable. So now I need to check this condition whether, let me drop this tag and condition and remove this activity is not a winner, so I will remove. So first what I will do now, I will check IO dot rows dot count rows dot count. Okay, rows dot count greater than or equals to So what is my variable here in transaction number? So this one every time is increased. Okay, right now, for example, I have this my variable, I mean, I have data table now. So in this data table, I have this 10 columns, for example. So this increment also it will automatically increment in transaction number. If both are matching or might be the greater than that. So then it will give this transaction, no need to take this transaction just out of the transaction. So just update here in transaction number. So just it will cross check whether having this, I mean, we need to get this data or not. So once you've done, then we need to take one assign activity. So in this assign activity, what we need to do now? So we need to pass this variable. What variable means transaction item. So in this transaction item only, now we are storing this data. When you go to in queues also, transaction item having the data. So just update here assign value as out transaction item. Done. So here what we need to know, so we need to give this for example in the excel file first row it reading this first row, so we need to get 0. Second row we need to get index 1, like that we need to get. So io transaction dot rows of 0. So right now it is 0. For example, if I want to get 1 and 2 and 3 and so on now. So for that what we'll do now? So we need to take this one more variable which we call in transaction number. So by default in transaction number having the 1. So when I keep minus 1, it will take 0, 1, 2, 3 because in Excel file our index will start from the 0. So we need to make sure that. So just click on that save. So once you click on that save, so here we are able to see the one error. So what it's saying now cannot assign from type system.data.data row to system.data.data table. So it's saying this. So both are it's not vice versa. It's not able to store the data. So now what we need to do, go to this augments and in transaction this one out transaction this now. Just go to browser type and what they here mention here data row. So just go on type this data row. So now we can see the system.data.data row. So just update. Okay, that error got disappeared. So once this is done, just save and just back to this. I mean, one more thing we need to add. So now I have this data. Then it will assign this data. So if I have don't data, so then I need to update here as out transaction item nothing. So then it stop this automation and it won't move. Okay, this is done now. So downside we can see that this all the steps has been normally, so no need to change anything. So this small step, these are the steps which we need to do in the get transaction data. Now just save and this transaction data is done. Now go to here and check what are missing here. So now when you check here out transaction item, it's got data row, that's fine, but here it's not saving the data. So again we need to update this transaction item. So when you changing something, changing is there, so by default this value is there, it automatically remove. Again we need to come and add. So now it got that error because so here my transaction item is in data table. So just go to this variables and check transaction item. Still it is in data table. So we changed it, but not here. Then again we need to check the system.data.row. Okay, now this is done. And go to this exception. Okay, transaction item got nothing. So it got changed. Previously we are getting that error. No? So we'll discuss that. Now this error also disappears. So no need to change anything. So this is also done. Now just come back to one step. Okay, while running, we'll get some couple of the things which we need to change. It will say that based on that we need to go. Now that is done. The next step. So we need to come to process transaction. Once you come here, you can see this couple of the things it got error. I mean, multiple things are getting errors. So we'll first check invoke workflow. So in invoke workflow, what it's saying in transaction item. So still it is having the queue item only. So just go this open workflow and change the first. Go to augments and change this to data row. Okay, save this. This one also will check and just come back to here and go to here and pass this item. So here transaction item we need to pass in augment. Okay, now go back to process again. So just expand this what it's saying. So previously in transaction dot specific content. Why it's came is because we are getting the data from the queues. Now what we need to know, just remove this one. Okay, it will take first name, last name, similar all the names it will find it. So I'm just removing this thing. Just save it, and I will do all the things. So while I'm doing also, you also try to practice. You will get easily to understand these things. So go, don't hurry, burry, and go with one by one step by step. You can go with the first initial stage, later transaction, and later one by one step. So don't go all through at once. So it might be clumsy for you. So just save it. Just assume that this is the one bugs we are fixing in production. The same thing I'm fixing right now. These are the bugs. Just assume like that and fix it. And finally, phone number. I will update its phone number as well. Okay, now this got done. Okay, just go and check exception. Is there anything happens? So nothing. No need to do anything. So now just come and save. So I did. Now this get transaction item, just open and check what type of parameters is there. Just check, that's it. So here couple of the things which has not transferred, I mean not changed to variable type. Just click on that OK, I mean open, and the success, business exception, system exception we don't want. Just disabled. And here one more thing. If you want to add this success data, for example, if you want to add success data in Excel file, you can add that. And similarly business exception, similar way for the failures you can add that. So these are the steps for that. So as of now I'm not modifying anything. So just I will disable three things, and I've saved this set transaction data. So I don't want to set anything, I just leave it as it is. Okay, done. One thing I missed, let me open this workflow and change this queue item to data row. If you not change, still the error will be present and it's a bit difficult to handle that. Okay, change this transaction item. Okay, this is fine. Transaction item is nothing. Okay, fine. Okay, now this is also done. Just come and check business except rules having any error or check. So this is a set transaction status. So I don't, okay, this is also done. I need to change this one. So let me go inside and transaction item. Okay, this is fine. What is it? So here getting the one error. Queue item data row cannot be converted to queue item. Let me open and check queue item. This is done nothing. Okay, here is something we need to check. So as of now, let me remove this transaction item is nothing now. Just I will, okay, now I think it got error got disappeared. So we need to wait a couple of seconds, so 1 or 2, I mean 5 to 10 seconds. Those will rectify it automatically. And next, it throwing this error might be it getting that error here somewhere else. So now just try to run. It will give this error where it got this errors. So now it's cannot convert to be this one. Just double click, it will directly went to there. So just go back one step more. So I don't know where it got error, but it on the very high level it's throwing that error, but I don't know where I want to see that. So now error is here. So just check what is this error. Okay, let me open this. Okay, all are done. I will do one thing. Just I will remove this data as of now, temporary purpose. Okay, let me go and check. Still the error is there. And I will remove a couple of the things. This nothing business exception. I don't want as of now. Just for the showing purpose. So I remove those things. So now this is done. So just I remove that transaction is nothing. So in when you go to in real time, so we need to take care of the things. So as of now, I'm just showing how convert these things. So now just click on that step window. If you got any errors, it will throw here right away. So right now I don't have any errors. So everything is done. So just let me close this Excel file as well, and I'm click on this continue. So now what it will do, so we need to open that browser first step. and later we need to download it at the specific Excel file, and later we need to read the data from the Excel file, store into the one variable. So once this is done, so whatever the data is there, no, it will upload. I mean, each and everything updated to the last name, company name. Similar, we need to update everything. And once this is done, so we need to click on that submit. So we need to wait for a couple of seconds. It will whether it will update the those respective field names or not. We need to check. Let me check whether I have any. Okay, now it's you can just check. So it's updating. So right now I'm not using any okay queues. So just it read the data, and I will just stop this. Okay, let me stop this, and I will show you how the data is working. So I will go to this get transaction item, and I will open this file, and I will keep here breakpoint. Okay, again I will rerun this one. So I will show that process transaction as well. Till there I will show one case, and after that I will run end to end and will wind up this call. So just we have waited. Okay, data has been downloaded and it has to read and store data into the data table. And as of now, this is a very simple process. When it is go to some complex process, we need to do lot of the things we need to change. So now just I will show the two things, couple of the things. So IO data transaction. So in this IO data transaction, I got this data. Now let me check. I mean, before that, just check. I will check transaction data. What is the data having? So right now it has null. So when I click on this enter, so it stored this first row. First row is nothing but as a zero index. So every time our Excel file starting the index as a zero. Okay, this data has been stored. The same data. Let me go back to this process transaction, and I will put one breakpoint here, just for understanding purpose. Let me open this, and I will put here because one thing has updated. I mean, let it update for. So now it got updated at Smith. So now I will just copy this one. So before I will show one more thing in transaction item, what is there. So in transaction item, whatever the transaction out transaction item, just storing into the transaction item, then it move to the in transaction item. These are the input and output where augments. So now I will just pass this the same thing. So when you check this, it has a JSON. Sorry, not JSON. It has a John. So let me stop this and I will run. So it will update one iteration, it will update, and next iteration we'll check what data it's giving or not. So we'll just check for the next iteration. So when I come here next iteration, so you can check again our transaction item. So now what is the data, is it Jane draws, so those data, so it's updating the things. So similar way it will work all the things. And let me remove the breakpoint. We'll check whether it will automatically stop or not. If it is not stopping, then whatever the I updated in if condition in the get transaction status is, it might be the something having the issue. So you need to check. So only the thing is, what are you using in the initial stage. So let keep as it is. And in transaction get transaction data, check what are the prerequisites, what are the needs to be done, from where we are getting this data. So whatever the data we can convert it into data table right now. So if you want to convert it to array of string, so you can convert it, no problem, it will looping, it will work. But only the thing is how we can project it, that is important. So now almost it's yet to complete. Maybe another 3 4, I think so. We'll wait this one, let it complete. So still, if you have any doubts on this, so try to do practice from your end, and still having any doubts, post your comments on the comment section. I will try to help you. So okay, here everything is done, but one thing got missed. Okay, two, three. Maybe when the looping it's got missed, so you can try from your end. So okay, I forget to click on the start, so that's why it's keep on moving. So that's the issue. So anyway, the concept is the same thing. So you can try to explore from your end, and still, if you have any doubts, post your comments. I will try to respond as soon as possible. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more like it, make sure to hit that like button, share with your friends, subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to turn off notifications so you never miss an upload.